So good evening, everybody. Welcome to Donny Chaingang with me, Matt Payne. We're on a real tight schedule tonight because we have a system that is going in to some TLC on Friday, tomorrow, and won't be back up and running until Tuesday. So we've been busy making sure all those preparations are done. It's a 10-day outage for not just the entry system, but also going to be for the broadcast as well. So heads up, you've been warned, no broadcast next week. And just as importantly, you're not going to be able to enter late. If you are entering the DCG gang, the members supporters club, then please, guys, you need to be in by Monday cut-off for February. If you miss that and you miss the automatically scheduled email on the Monday evening at midnight, you'll need to register per ride as well as join the gang. It's basically all pre-programmed now. What we've done now, it's done. That's it. There is no more. So, guys, make sure you do that. We will be completely under the radar for the next 10 days. The ride's continuing, obviously, with Russ at the helm. And I'm hoping that Russ will be all ready to go. On the other end of a phone line very, very shortly. Fingers crossed his tech is working better than mine because we've been doing a little bit of putting everything together. So just checking to see if the bear is there. If the bear isn't, well, we can always jump in later on. So looks like he's here. Russ, how are you doing? Hello, Russ. Well, he's on the other end of the line. Unfortunately, we can't hear him. So it looks like Russ's tech working.
Just hear you, but very good.
Hello. You're there. Excellent.
Slightly. Just. Maybe.
It's going to be one of those nights, I think, tonight. So, do you know what? Let's not yap. Let's get on with the ride, shall we? I think that's probably going to be the safest option tonight.
Maybe, yeah. You know, seems to be a few tech issues flying around. I don't know what's happening on my internets and all that, but yeah, just about made it. I've got disconnected things and rebooted systems, but hopefully I'm all good, ready to go.
Indeed, and got to say to everybody, just a quick heads up. Russ is rolling next week with the gang and will be on some quite entertaining routes. I've already seen what the routes are. Not going to be able to access the entry system from tomorrow. We're not going to be able to access the system for the broadcast either. That means that you're going to need to make sure you get your entries in for the DCG gang for February before the automated email is sent on Monday. Otherwise, you'll need to register per ride. And Russ will not be able to get you in. So don't go ringing Russ up or messaging him. He won't be able to get you in. It just doesn't work that way. We're just going to be locked out.
Don't bother me. I won't answer.
Exactly. We're going to be locked out for 10 days. So leave him in peace. He's got to do some peddling. In fact, he's got to do some peddling in about 10 seconds, Russ. So do you know what? We're going to let you dive onto the ride, mate, and we'll catch up with you hopefully on the way around because we do have a little bit of running on this one.
Maybe not with the current status of internet and things, but we'll try, mate. It's all we can do, isn't it?
It is indeed. It is indeed. Good luck, Russ. Hopefully catch you out there.
I'm out the pen, which is a good start.
It is indeed a good start. Brilliant stuff. So Russ on his way out. We are going to head across and just give you a quick heads up on where we're going. It's going to be a real simple stuff tonight because this is a route we have done more times than I can possibly remember. And we are out on the circuit of RGV, the route Grande Vitesse, basically the fast road, the large fast road. Very quick bits of road. It's dead simple, this route. It is a clockwise circuit that goes out. It has 14 kilometres basically of flat stuff before you get even close to a hill and into the Aqueduct KOM. We go out over the island. We come round the coastline past Mont Saint-Michel. We come in through the village with the Pathway Sprint. We come up over the mini aqueduct. Before we hit the Petit KOM, we turn right. This time instead of left on Tuesday, we come around the Ballon Sprint, around the windmill, before dropping down the gorge, taking the right-hand turn back through the Marina Sprint. Do that twice, and that is 2 laps of 24k. That is going to give us 48.9 in total, and total elevation at 214 metres. Real simple stuff. Done this more times than I've had hot dinners, probably in the last month, to be brutally honest. it is a real popular circuit with us, and one of those circuits is going to be really entertaining. It does make it tricky at the end of the ride as you come in through those gorges, but the man charged with chasing everybody up and down around the circuit is Craig Gensler, our red beacon, and Craig knows his circuit very, very well indeed. As you can see from our fantastic fellow viewer graphics, we have a route which is predominantly flat. You can see all the way to that 13k, that's the high point of the course, up over the top of the Aqueduct KOM, and then we roll back down round in through the wiggles of the gorge, that roller coaster ride that takes us back down into the start. Looks like all of our riders out of the pens, which means that we are going to dive across and jump into the ride live here on the Downhill Cycling YouTube channel with me, Matt Payne. We're jumping straight in with Craig Gensler. So Craig just starting to bring the troops up towards the back of the group. Craig, very experienced rider on Zwift, very experienced rider in the group rides as well, and the squad at the back just needs to squeeze on a little bit here. Just looks like Mr. Woodall, change of kit for Mr. Woodall, going into the black Lacole kit there. Keith Richardson just at the back of that group, just distanced off the back. This could make our red beacons left just a little tricky. Rob Copeland just squeezing up here. So looks like the gang are well and truly underway. The squad moving nicely. We're just going to take a little bit of a check on the gang as they make their way along that straight. So just waiting for the wonders of the companion app to just do a little bit of a reboot. And then we should be able to see just how far behind all of our riders are. So Mr. Woodall at the moment, the back of the pack, we are well over that 100 riders number. That means that the front can't see the back and the back cannot see the front. So please, guys, make sure that you keep your eyes on where that yellow beacon is. Remember, the yellow beacon controls the pace. They get to choose when to go and when they need to ease back off again. What the pace is set. Our yellow beacon yesterday was Emma ramping it up. If you haven't been onto the Facebook page and seen just how good a ramp it was, you do need to go have a check out of just how fast that ramp lifted and how smoothly as well. There was some really, really quick lifts on the way through. Now looks like Day just getting a drop out. If in doubt, jump out and jump back in again. Potts off the back here. Needs to just give it a bit of a squeeze. So just seeing Day jumping out of the gang. If you jump back in again, up to 30 minutes is the late join on the Donny Chaingang. So that allows you to get around any of those initial niggles on the way through. So Potts comes through past Craig Gensler. Craig now the back of the bunch. Nobody behind him. And that means that Craig can now just squeeze his way up to the front of the group. Just got a little bit of a view from our helicopter just coming up over the top past that dirt road turn. Not yet opened that expansion, not opened on Zwift yet. Got some great riders on the Chaingang. You can see that we've got Tiff Fletcher, Gail Phillips, we've got Miss Cookie and Tracy Terminator 2.0, Becky Story, the movie star pro, as well as, of course, regular Ruby Isaacs are with us. Ruby Isaac, of course, the sensation on the rollers, as well as a regular cross rider, and Ruby really smashing it out of the park regularly. Now, Josh Mayland in here from Halo Wheels. Josh, one of our regular fast men. Halo with a week's giveaway later on in spring for the DCG gang. Our giveaways in February are going to include Grand Tour coffee and OTE. So we've got OTE giveaway and Grand Tour coffee coming up for members of the DCG gang, Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. And you need to be in it to win it, as the saying goes. So if you do have a few quid spare, then support the Chaingang. If you donate into the Chaingang and join the Supporters Club, you get all the links sent direct to you. You get discounts with 25% off OTE, 20% off Bellow Skin, who was supporting the Chaingang last night with some great giveaways. You also, of course, get discounts off Gritty Clothing, off Halo Wheels, and of course you get looked after by the team at 1080 and 1080 and Ian Taylor supporting the Chaingang. to the tune of supporting Chaingang. Over £2,000 worth of prizes going out in December from 1080. Absolutely amazing support from them. So if in doubt, make sure you support the people who support the Chaingang. Your £25 for the month goes into the pot, and in return we try and look after you and say thank you with all the links, a heads up on where the routes are going, where they're happening, and of course all that going out. As we mentioned at the start of the show, if you are a member and you haven't rejoined, please make sure that you dive in and make sure that you get the entries done early, because we are not going to have access to the entry system, and we're not going to have access to the ticketing system. It will operate smoothly, but you need to get those entries in. It should all run automated throughout that period, but we're not going to be able to go in to access it. So please, guys, make sure that you get that entry in. If you are a member of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, then please remember, guys, rejoin on time by the start of the month. If you haven't joined by the start of the month, you will need to enter the rides on the way through. So you need to register as well. So please, guys, make sure you get those joining done on time, because we won't be able to send out supplementary emails. The scheduled ones are all in and done, but you do need to make sure they go in nice and early. Now, just taking a little bit of a check here. I think Craig Rich Orr just coming back here to give the gang a hand, and Day with another dropout here by the look of it. So it looks like a few people with issues, connectivity issues. Mick Lark's advertised looking like he says he's not the only one. No OT down here for me. No Grand Tour coffee today. It's going to be a dry Chaingang. And probably very, hopefully it will stay dry for the next time. So let's have a little look. So we've got Chris Goddard here, we've got Andy Watson, that's Mr. Raccoon, we've got Lord Greg Billsworth, Craig Genther, and Rich Orrell. You can just see Rich just appearing, because the screen's of course only showing the 100 nearest riders. Our riders at the moment on their way out around the coastline of France here, and making the way around the circuit. About to come off the island and head onto the mainland once again. Now, Russ, of course, leading tonight. He's leading next week, our two Chaingangs next week. Don't forget, it's going to be a couple of weeks until the next WoW DCG. Last night was an absolute cracker. And the Velaskin giveaway for the Turbo Bundles were absolutely brilliant. I mean, the fastest fingers in the world ever.com are those possessed by the riders on the WoW DCG. We had a classic message up on the message board. They had to respond. The fastest three people responding won the bundles of kit. And guess what? They were quick. They were so quick we actually had to just do a quick rerun. Now it looks like Russ is advertised, just going for laps on the way around. Quickly made his way back up to the front. Craig Herring just dropping back a touch here at the back of the group. Just keeping a check on where everyone is. The gang working well as they come in and across the bridge. Craig currently at 129 to 180. So let's see how they keep on rolling. So the gang rolling out smoothly. The riders working well together here, just at the back of the gang. Our red beacon, and looks like assistance from Craig Herring just ticking along. A couple of things, a couple more reminders whilst we're on the reminders front. A quick reminder, please, guys, make sure if you are looking for something to keep yourself entertained on Saturday night, the Out of the Saddle team have the Downings in question and answer. Got Mr. Briggs in there, all to support Brett. There's going to be a ride going out in the morning as well, and Steve Ellis and all the gang out of the saddle are fundraising for Brett. Brett, who was in an accident in the ride across Wales, something that could happen to anybody, and the ride, he's actually out and riding, and the aim is to raise funds for a specific prosthetic leg that will make riding the bike much better, and to support him in that riding. So a great cause to get behind. Tickets from memory are not very much. I think it's about £5 for the ticket. There's going to be an auction there as well. And it's all about raising money. So please, guys, make sure that you get yourselves up into the gang. Now, at the moment, the yellow beacon just dropping out. We know Russ's area just with having issues with the internet. The broadcast studio here are actually on a 4G backup for such occasions when the entire local area goes down. The Chaingang, no doubt, will run all nice and smoothly without. So just going to drop, I think Jimmy will be dropping into that on the way through. We're just going to put a little bit of a message here. Hopefully it will go on. So the gang riding, and looks like the team are working well. Default leader is Jimmy Allen. So Jimmy, who stands in for Russ, is always the man whose instructions we fall to. If not, the only downside is our youngsters won't see the trigger points. I'm loving Rob Copeland on the wind-up already. So Jimmy Allen messages won't go to Ruby and Co, who are our youngsters. So please, guys, we will be letting you know, and I know that a lot of them actually just watch on the YouTube so that they can catch the messages as well, which come up on there. So a quick reminder, guys, please make sure you work together. Kieran Smith, Craig Geth and gang are rolling. Please make sure that you're tucked in there. The yellow beacon will return if we can get back in the next what is going to be 18, in fact 17 minutes. The gang, it looks like it's all holding together well. So this is where it really needs to show just why the Donny Chaingang is so special. And we'll try and give a little bit of assistance by keeping a check on the back of the group as we head in, so that the gang can all check that out. And it's one of the reasons that we run, of course, the YouTube stream as well. So it looks like Warsdale with issues there, dropout, and it is all to do with internet connection. Our connection here really nice and stable. He says cursing it if he's not cable. Careful. So at the moment the signal pretty smooth on the way through. So just to watch you, Mr. Stevens, Kieran Smith, currently our last rug, I think, on the road. We're just going to try and drop our way in and back. So just working our way down the straight. Looks like Russ is dropping back in, but he's not got any riders around him yet. He'll work his way in through there. So Mr. Genther tucked in there. Quick reminder, if you are watching the live feed, don't forget you can tap on to the live button. That will bring you back to live. We're currently on we're not even 1.5 seconds behind, actually. Just keeping a check on the clock on screen. We're actually on 1.3 seconds behind live on our ticker that shows us the differences between. So if you are anything longer than that, if you click the live button, it should take you back forwards pretty quick. At the moment, it's rolling quite smoothly on the feed, so hopefully everybody's able to keep up with the feed, and we'll just make sure that we've got everybody rolling in together. So at the moment, as you can see, our red beacon just dropped off the back. The instructions come in from Jimmy Allen. Jimmy is our default leader. We are going to just try and run up to Jimmy. So this is Jimmy. For those people who don't know Jimmy Allen is known as the Wolf. He's our standing leader when Russ is not available. With Russ's dropout, Jimmy standing in very quickly now. Jimmy, our ride leader, riding on a grey S-Works Venga with the DI cut disc and the deep wheel, the fastest kit in the game, fastest bike in the game, riding in that Mondrian Leica V class kit, but of course with ride on and Swift down the side. I actually want a real life one of these. Absolutely brilliant. And that kit, as you can see, is key. So Jimmy will keep the group together, so please make sure that you're around Jimmy Allen. It's going to test everybody's ability to stay with that group. and it is key. Remember, all our riders can see red. They all know where red is, and red is not all that far off the back of the main group. So if in doubt, head and back and look for red. Key is try and stay onto that red. I know Russ just trying to jump back in behind the scenes. So keep those numbers down, guys. Stay off the front. Give the ride leader a chance to get back in with us. So Rich Orrell just dropping back a touch here behind the gang. Just going to drop in with Rich. If we can have a hover around the red beacon, please. That would be really nice from everybody. It's really key here that we try and keep the gang together at this point. So Kieran at the moment, the rider just on the back of the pack, and the gang rolling through smoothly in front. We know he's certainly more than capable of heading up towards the front. So you can just see the team rolling in to the game, run stage, jumping back into the game. So Craig just ticking along in the back. Looks like a quick mission. That's what we want to see. So Liam Ellis just putting it up. I'm doing half hour. Don't worry about me. I'm just going to jump back off again. That's brilliant communication. Thank you so much, Liam. Really key if you can keep that moving on the way through. So at the moment it is all working well. The chat's definitely very fun tonight. Our riders coming through, just sitting in with Mr. Gether. All the squad rolling nicely as they make their way through. So looks like the team are working well. The bunch rolling in. Beefy from Cycleway just coming through in that pack. So the gang nicely underway here, and as you can see, just about to start to make the way out of town, go underneath this bridge, and we're now heading across towards the aqueduct climb. So Craig and Kieran currently just hovering around the back of the bunch. Apologies for not running through the whole of the bunch today. Just going to be a little bit tricky to make sure that we keep the back cover, trying to keep our red beacons job a little bit easier. So remember, Jimmy Allen, our ride leader, de facto ride leader at the moment, is in. We are indeed self-regulated. This is what we want to see. At least when you self-regulate this, everybody knows what they're doing. So Craig just ticking along at the back of the bunch. Jimmy Allen just keeping the group together. So looking smooth at the moment as they come up this climb. Craig just keeping it rolling. Remember, this is going to be a real test of how good the gang goes all together. Remember, the ride leader Jimmy Allen, now our default ride leader, all about keeping it smooth with no rush to control the pace. Just keeping a check on the numbers at the front. Looks to me like nobody going over that sort of 2.5 at the moment. It's all about rolling this group up the straight and trying to keep it all together as they come up the climb here. So all key to this, making sure that the group doesn't fracture too much as you come up the straight. Plenty of time to wind your legs. Remember, don't chase. If there are one or two flyers who decide to go a little bit quick on the way up and over the top, then don't follow them through. I know Simon Day, having real issues on the way through, is diving in and out of the screens up near the front. That's purely because he's literally dropping in and out on the way through. So quick reminder, please, guys, make sure that you sit tight on the red beacon, tight on Jimmy Allen. Your task today, find Jimmy and all pile on Jimmy Allen instead. So Craig ticking up over this. So the group going up over the top. Let the gang come together, please, guys. So try and grab the gang together. It is all about keeping it nice and smooth. We are going to try and have a quick word with the one and only Jimmy Allen, who I'm hoping is on the end of the phone line. Jimmy, how is the Wolf today? Is he all ready for this?
Brilliant, mate. Yeah, stepped in. Yeah, it's. I was saying to us, I'm surprised it's not happened before. To be honest, he's had a pretty good run without any sort of major technical problems, so done a good run, and yeah, so no issues though. Just one plant pot off the front as usual, but you know, everybody knows that's going to happen when a certain person's on the ride. So yeah, just a 5 or 6 seconds ahead of everybody else on the KOM, but you know,
it does happen, and it's one of those classics. We've got to remember there are a number of people who are actually having dropouts and jumping in and out the front of the group as well as at the back. It's not just the solo moment, and I think pretty much everybody getting the message. We've got to be careful, of course. So our youngsters, our under 18 riders, they don't get to see any of the messages other than the ones coming from our red and yellow beacons, so they're going to have an interesting moment, let's say, as they're going to have to be ready to react, but and we will put that out, so when it comes up from you, we'll also be making sure it goes out over the YouTube channel. So just a few gaps opening up by the look of it, so I think some messages going to need to go flying back in from you. We'll let you dive back in. Thank you very much, Jimmy, for
no problem.
Taking the reins.
No worries, mate. See you in a bit.
So time for the gang to do a little bit of trolling down. If we take a little bit of a look up on the map, on our 2D map rather than the 3D one, you can just see these groups just spread out on the road. If you're at the front, guys, knock a couple of watts per kilo off. Just let that group come back together, please. If you are up at the front of the group, and you're watching on the YouTube channel, guys, get those messages in to head back towards the group with Jimmy Allen in there. To give you an indication, Jimmy at the moment currently sitting at 16k. 16k. So just seeing the front responding. Thank you very much, guys. So please just take that pace out and just bring the pace back towards our beacon. You can just say Jimmy now coming up towards the 16.4 marker. He's going to hit that at 26.40 or so. Here we go. So 26 minutes 40. He's at 16.4k. So keep Jimmy up on our screens. This is where we're aiming to get to, guys. Jimmy Allen in that Mondrian kit. So remember, this is what you're aiming for. Aiming for Jimmy Allen, who is in that pack, that main group just starting to come together. So you can just see Jimmy at the moment just coming up alongside this turn. Our red beacon is going to be out of the back, so we'll see how that's going to roll. Neil clearly just being very busy checking out the details on the kit with the for the Worlds. Neil, of course, my one of the co-hosts on the Crosscast with myself, and well, he's really the host. It's only me and Bruce are co-hosts, who are going to be bringing all that action. We're going to be summing it up at some point after the Worlds, so looking forward to seeing that. So 4 riders now down from 6 riders due to COVID. So please, guys, remember, keep that group together. That is what we call a bubble. Let's get that helicopter up in the air and let's take a look. That is what the Chaingang's all about, guys. Get the kit, get the riders together, and this is what happens. This is what we're looking for. Keeping that group as one big mass of riders around Jimmy Allen. And you can just see the group currently. We've got our red beacon group, which is formed. It looks like that's already nicely on the go. Andy T just off the back of that group. Kieran, the back of the group, and this is the main blob. So this is where we're looking for our riders to be. Good to see that we've got Ian Taylor on the ride. Ian, good to have you back. Ian has been doing a limited amount of riding recently, and everybody who has been on the Chaingang for any length of time will know just how much support 1080 have put in to the Chaingang, and we know just how much support Ian gives to the riders. Now would be a good time to support the people who support your sport, and if in doubt, make sure if you're looking for a shares, you maybe want a new Oakley t-shirt or anything in terms of apparel, then dive in, give Ian a shout. Now's a good time to give him some support. And remember, of course, here one of our key supporters of the Chaingang, been looking after people. Time for a bit of love back, please, ladies and gents, to Ian, even if that's just pasting him back in. Now, just keeping a check on the beacon. The beacon group were rolling well together. You can see that drop in there as we came back, as they come into sight up the road. That beacon, the main bunch, that main peloton, just holding together well. It is likely to split as you drop down into the gorge, but some amazing riding here by everybody playing the game. There's much harder when we don't have the yellow beacon dropping on to a rider, and it has been a good run for us in terms of the tech. So the news from Russ is definitely not back in, as the gap has gone. The multiple restarts, nothing rolling. So our red beacon out of the back of the group, the yellow beacon out of the road all together, and you can just see the bus has formed at the back. So heads up, Jimmy Allen is our leader for the rest of the ride. So please make sure you follow Jimmy's instruction. Jimmy is, of course, the man from the Stellaton in that Mondrian kit just in here. So Russ definitely out of the game tonight completely and will not be back. So please remember, follow Jimmy's instructions. We will see Russ back next week on Tuesday. Looks like Russ is spending the weekend ripping apart the internet system. He may be going around to BT. Because, of course, most people get their run in and through. So just a reminder, make sure that you get in there. The pair is dead. Long live the war, says Craig Herring. Loving it. So please, guys, make sure that you go in there. Russ hasn't just gone back to the team car. He's thrown his bike in the ditch on the way through as well. So the gang just on the way in and through. So a quick reminder, guys, if you are running your way through the having dropouts 9 times out of 10, it is all about the connection and the speed of your connection of your computer to the Zwift server. Now, 9 times out of 10, it is to do with the Wi-Fi connection. If you have it on Wi-Fi, if you're hardwired into your router, rarely is it that. So basically, it is pretty key that you make sure that you're hardwired in if possible. If you've done that and it all goes a little bit pear-shaped still, and you're still getting dropouts and maybe just seeing yourself on the screen, then that does mean that what is happening is it could well be the speed into your router outside. So get yourselves 2 quick things that are really worth doing. Go on to a speed test, and the best speed test out there is called Ookla, and that is very, very quick indeed. And then once you've done that, grab yourself basically onto a Zwift analyzer. So there's a Zwift analyzer, which is amazing. It tells you where your dropouts are. Anybody telling me that Apple TV is the way forward? Apple TV doesn't actually give you any better resolution. It doesn't work with multiple Bluetooth options, and not suitable for intensive game usage as far as I'm concerned. It works fine in a very simple setup. So if you have 1 or 2 Bluetooth options, so you're not going to Bluetooth your watching, it won't operate on ANT. So there's no ANT operation on it. So if you are going to race at a top level of Zwift, where you have to have multiple devices recording your power, not going to work. If you want to get higher resolution than standard HD of 1080, then to do that, you can't do that on Apple TV either. And just as a quick reminder, of course, although it is a very cheap and effective way of getting it rolling, you can't do anything else with it either once you start making it roll. However, if you want a very simple, very good price way of getting on there, it is very simple. Get yourself an Apple TV box. We've got one. We use it for just riding, literally just riding on, and we use it on a small screen, or relatively small screen on a standard HD. And whilst on your game you will be able to select 4K, etc., it's not rendered any higher than 1080 by the Apple TVs. It really is all to do with that box. However, in terms of price, super easy. Vin Donahue, we could have joint commentators. That is fine, apart from Russ would be watching on a 2-second delay. And it's by the time he got here, you lot should have finished the ride. So that's simple. You could have a joint commentator, because actually Emma is somewhere on her way back from the other end. I think at the moment we are really struggling to get Russ anything other than melting down in the middle of nowhere. So it is, I think, the absolute meltdown at Russ's end. So just heads up, don't call him. Don't talk to him. Let him sort it out. It's real simple stuff. He's going to need to get out of the way, get it out of your system and sort everything. And indeed, Russ might sound slow if he was here. So quick reminder, guys, make sure that you are in the bunch in that group. Craig gets in here, just taking a little bit of a check. Looks like Ted heading back. So Russ currently says he's sat in this kit with a big hammer. Yeah, probably not the best idea. Don't go take a walk, Russ. Go wander around. Take the dog out, mate. There is nothing gets you angry like tech issues. I've got to agree with that. We've had the support of some amazing people on the way through. I've got to say a massive thank you to Tim Cooper, who has done a lot of the hardware tech for us and kept that updated. We actually play in the buildings here 3 games. We're playing the game with 3 people simultaneously. We have 3 internet lines rolling simultaneously. We also have here 1 Apple TV, 1 Alienware PC, 1 Mac, and 1 full all singing, all dancing broadcast PC. And that allows us then to get this all out to you. So you can imagine when the tech goes down here, that most people just clear out of Eckington, to be honest. It's really straightforward. Now, just taking a little bit of a look at it, looks like Robin Bartlett and Ted just starting to head back towards the bus. Jelly and ice cream on offer. I'll take some, please. Now, the boys are up on the climb and making their way up and round. Matt flexing the tech, something like that. You don't even want to get started on the microphones. We have currently on the game, you're coming out on a headset mic that you've probably seen on the show. We also have a multitude of condenser and dynamic mics in the building that we can use for different setups. And in fact, for the Crosscast, the Cyclocross podcast that we record with Neil, we are back with the very original mic that we recorded the very first Crosscast. It's still going strong, and that mic is just used for the Crosscast now. It's a great old mic. And it's known as Crosscast mic in the house and in the studios because it's the only thing that we ever use it for. But it is incredibly good at that, and it's got a very distinctive sound. All of them have a different sound, that's for sure. So the gang working well, coming off the road, taking the right-hand turn, just in with Steve Hilbert. This group are working really well together in the absence of Russ, Jimmy, keeping everything on the everything together. Just see Stefano Borelli, Stefano and the team at Nonna's, some of our key supporters as well. So here we go, just making his way down here. Stefano, one of our quick riders. Now, Ruby Isaac, Ruby, we said in the bunch, Ruby in the gang at the moment, and rolling along nice and smoothly with this group, just needing to squeeze on. The gaps just starting to open at the back of the bunch. We're just seeing riders in 2s and 3s now. Booth is going to push up. We know he's going to want to squeeze on to the front. And that pace just picking up a touch here. So Ruby's going to need to squeeze onto the wheels of Matlock. You can just see those numbers coming up at the moment behind. She's got some assistance. Richardson, Langmead and Mantis going to be coming in and through. Hopefully, as they come towards line, we finish at this archway next time through. That looks like Ruby's going to get to the gang. So let's get Ruby back on. Comes the cry from the squad. So here we go. Just seeing the team come in and pass. Just watching those numbers for Ruby. Looks like Mantis going to be doing some work with Langley to just try and give Ruby some assistance. It is going to be really close. So a shout out from Jimmy to just pull this group back in. We're just seeing the riders behind disappear, and that's just because of the nature of the beast. We're going to try and jump back in with the chasers here. So Tom, Hager, Ruby and Mantis just on the back. So gang, please, if you can drop to Jimmy. Jimmy just trying to keep everything ticking smoothly at the back. So drop the pace off, guys. If you're on the front, you need to knock a couple of watts per kilo off just very briefly, and then we'll be able to get everybody back on. The longer it takes to happen, the longer it'll be before we get people in. So just watching those numbers dropping off at the front. You can just see Jimmy Allen is just in there, and we're just going to take a little bit of a check back. We were just about making way on. It looks like Tom Haggard just trying to squeeze. Come on, mate. Last push in to the back of the pack here. Looks like Mr. Locke just on the back of this group. So it looks like great work by who, well, we would expect nothing more than the gentleman that is Mr. Woodbridge from the Veloband squad, always looking after the riders. Neil from the Crosscast doing the same, going back to look after the riders. Richard Langmead, Al Security, Gareth Mason, regular winner Mason, of course, Kiss Cannon back here. The squad coming back to help Jimmy out. Everybody in that group, that is a really nice pickup. And Matlock, I think, is literally at the back of this pack. I'm going to just try and run to Matlock. I think Mr. Rudder is in front. Isaacs has gone up through, trying to squeeze up as far as Ruby can on the front of the group. So great work being done by the gang as they come through. It is, we're going to take a little bit of a run back the opposite direction here. So the red beacon, the bus has formed. They are all basically together as they come in and through. We're just going to run up. Hager just having to do a big squeeze here. Just dropped off the back of that gang, but now up to 4 watts per kilo. And chasing hard. Potts in there. Everybody else is in front. And you can see that the back of that group now. The group at the front need to tick back and take the pace off. You can see from the screen at the top, if we go up into the eye in the sky, that there are breaks. This is the group going over the bridge at the moment. Our beacon, the de facto yellow beacon, currently going through. We're currently looking at about 15 seconds from front to back, so the guys at the front knocking the pace off here quite nicely. This should just bring this group back in together. And just watching them making the way in. We're going to take that camera up. You can see the gaps just opening in front of this bunch as they come on to the island. Remember, the beacon won't chase. We will stay with Jimmy Allen's group no matter what. So this here is the gang. So amazing stuff done by for these riders here, who are working nicely together. This the Chaingang currently making the way through here. So just a quick reminder, the aim of the game: keep the gang together to the trigger point. Our beacons know the pace and what the back of the group is doing. They are keeping an eye on the back of that pack, and this is all about keeping the group together, not spitting anybody out the back just because the people at the front are playing Muppets. So it is all about holding in to the group. So here we go, gang coming back together again. This is what we want to see. Do you know, I love the Chaingang some days, and this is when it works, when we're starting to get that pack coming back in together, and it's working. You're bringing the group together, and everybody starts working to get the gang in. So Beefy and Herring and Donahoe at the moment, they're just on the back of that group. And you can just see the back still a little bit fractured, so just if the guys at the back want to squeeze in a little bit here. I think the last rider in the main bunch is Finn. So Finn, squeeze those pedals, mate. And congratulations on the good news as well, Finn. So some good news heading Finn's way. So Finn, oh, look at that. Instant response. He's clearly watching the feed. Mantis tucked on the back here. Sadler on as well. Looks like that gang pretty much all together at the moment. The front, the numbers we're seeing at the front are 1.9s, 1.4s, 1.9s. So the group are blobbing up again. This is all what it's all about, getting that gang back in, squeezing in together. So this is all about piling into the Beacon group. So well done to the gang, doing an amazing job there. Keeping it all together. Just a quick reminder, if you are watching on YouTube, make sure you click the live button every now and then when there's a slight pause in the action. That will allow you to get the live stream back on track. If you've dropped signal at any point and you've fallen a little bit behind live, it can creep up on you, and then it can cause you issues on the way through. The back of the group going smoothly at the moment. So Neil sets his playback on 1.25 times on YouTube, so it catches it up. Question is, does that maybe sound like I am Mickey Mouse? If only you could do that in real life, that'd be great, wouldn't it? Imagine going on a ride and just setting everything 1.25 speed just so you could get up nice and quick. That sounds mega to me. So the gang rolling around, looking smooth. Nick McDermott in here, Mr. Cootie, Mr. Crease in the gang. I love it. Simon Rennett's comment, isn't that meddling with the Matrix though? It probably is. That's something that you definitely don't want to happen. It's the gang just making its way up the straight here. Looks like in the absence of Russ, we'll be joined by Indy Trotter down here in the studios. Just a quick reminder, if you are just joining us about way through, please remember, guys, wait for the signal from your beacon, de facto beacon. That is going to be the one and only Jimmy Allen. Jimmy in control of the group after she's taken Russ out of the ride. Quick reminder, please, guys, if you are a member of the DCG gang and you're planning on joining for February, this is the last ride in January. It means that you do need to get that in and done before the end of the month. At midnight on Monday, there will be an email going out, auto-scheduled already and already written. It's already in the system because at the end of today, we will have no more access to the system until a week on Monday. That means that if you are not in the gang on time, you'll need to register as well. If you miss a cut-off next week, there will be no joining late. It would be impossible because the system won't let you do it. Don't try ringing Russ. Don't even think about ringing me. Don't ring anybody. We'll be off broadcast next week, and we will be off the entry system all of next week. As Jimmy Allen hits go, go, go. So go, 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 go. Go, go, go. It is go, go time. If you're on the live feed, go, go, go. Now is the moment. So go, go, go. It has come the cry. The pace is on. And the front is already starting to open up here. So this is when things get very tricky indeed for the riders a little bit further back. It is go, go, go time. This is all about getting the pace high. Jimmy's gone for a long one here. We are on the way round. We've just come in land a little bit at the moment. And Neil from the Crosscast, after all that talk of the 1.25, he's on his way. So the go, go, go has happened. The trigger has been pulled. The plunger pushed. They've ignited the burners, to quote the great Hugh Porter. And this is where we're going to see who has got wings on their wheels, who has got the pace to take this out at the front. Just going to take a little bit of a roll back to see just how those gaps are starting to form behind. I suspect we're going to start to see fractures. We are just keeping an eye on. It looks like Birmingham having to put a big push in Taylor just in this group. Dave fortunately made it back in before getting a cutout. Eddie Coldwell in here. Looks like Harrison in the mix. Fletcher's in this group here. So Tiff on her way around. Regular rider on the way up. In the Chaingang Stakes, running well. Mr. Garfor, our exemplary red beacon last time. I think we've got to say probably one of the best weeks for red beacons across the board, with John doing an amazing stuff. Now, remember the chasing riders here. This is the chasers behind it. Looks like our bus has just dropped its passengers off. They've just jumped off the bus, and it means that the Beacon group now chasing on. They're getting the pace up here as Craig Genther and Rich Orrell, both in that Downing Cycling coached kit, make their way in. They're chasing down the road in front. About a minute in front is Ruby Isaac, Mr. Richardson, Finch, Flynn. You can just see this group just rolling along in here. Beefy from Cycleways and Craggill in here. Then Borelli and another group with John Garfoot. Then we go up the road a little bit, so we can just see Hargate and Fletcher. Then we've got our next group with Badger and Shaw. Looks like this is going to be Jerry Cross in here with Ian Taylor. Looks like Dr. D in here. Darren Topless from Pine Cycles as well. Then 7 seconds up the road, this is the group that contains, I think this is going to be Tracy Seeley in here, Chris Ball in here. Chris riding really strong to say. He took a bit of a tumble and hit the floor pretty hard. Looks like Birmingham in this group as well. Then 5 seconds up the road. This is basically the front of the group. This is a brutal group to try and stay in. At the moment, Aaron Stone from Richardson's Trek in there in that Downing Cycling kit. Jones is in here as well. Roller in here. It looks like Becky's Story. Becky, one of our regular riders riding for the Movie Star team, the rider who's out in the Movie Star training camp. And Becky, regular Donny Chaingang, a rider moving right up into the very top flight and out to play on the Chaingang here. So this is when things get interesting for the riders at the back of this pack, because as we come around these twists and turns, if you're not right on a wheel, you're going to end up in trouble. And just seeing one or two riders at the back of this pack just having to squeeze a little bit here. So it looks like Gibbo and Stevens just being dropped off the back of that group. So they are now being distanced. You can see just how quick this gang goes. They're at 50 metres behind now as they drop back. And that group just distancing. You can see them in the distance behind. That's just how fast this thing moves. Good to see Dale Williams is in here. Dale, quick heads up. Can't do what we did today. Next week there is going to be no entry system access whatsoever. So please, guys, remember, a reminder, no broadcast next week, no entry system access for us next week. Means you need to get your memberships in early, i.e. before the end of the month. When it ends, get the next one in. It's basically on time rather than early. That way you're going to get the broadcast, you get the links coming through. The email's already written now. Look at this. Looks like Neil from the Crosscast putting an early kick in here. Big bunch there. Didn't want to take him in and through. So Neil's gone on a bit of a mission here. He's gone solo, clearly inspired by the all the talk of the cyclocross worlds, putting in a big effort here. Now, is anybody going to chase here? This is not looking like there is no big response here. Simon Runnits doing well done. Becky on the Isle of Man news. Indeed, Becky being chosen to represent the Isle of Man at the Commonwealth Games. Now, just seeing Copeland just squeezing on now. Although the numbers aren't as big as Neil's numbers, you can see that gap is going to come down, and that is purely because of the strength of the bunch rolling together. It is so much easier when you're in the gang. Now, Herring on the front here. Craig Herring just starting to try and stretch this out. He's going to come past Neil, I think, very quickly indeed here. No, Neil goes back through in the black. Then it's Herring going to be leading through. Never mind waving, and as you're coming in towards the line, you may be leading them out into the line. Potts goes up. This is not breaking this group up any as they come around in underneath the windmill. And the back of that group still in there now. Another PR as they come in and through. You can just see Becky's Story's time go right up there. 26.61, the fastest time from Potts at 24.99. Everybody setting those times this lap around. Just still waiting to see our next group come in and through the square. So this is group number 2 on the road now. So group 2 just come through that square. And again, I think Tracy Seeley and co coming in there. You can just see Tracy's time coming down to a 27.96. So group 2 through now. Group 3 is going to be led out here by Taylor. So this is group 3 on the road. So Taylor, Topless, Robertson, Fulton, Dubash, Taylor. This is group number 3. If you're in this group, you're group 3 on the road. 4 at the moment. Well, it's just about headed by Young. So Young, then Patterson, Plevin, and T. Hargate, then Tiff Fletcher. So Borelli in there as well. Beefy from Cycleways there is going to be on Group 5. So this is Group 5 on the road, and then it's going to be Solo Rider, and then I think we're down to the bus, and anybody who's sandwiched right in between. The very front of the ride, though, it is still hovering around about that 4 watts per kilo mark. Just taking a quick check, and we are starting to see 1s and 2s being distanced by this hill. Greenaway looks like he's gone. Jones has gone as well, and they're in 1s and 2s. Hawkins has gone. Langmead has gone. Carl Johnson has gone. Looks like Craig Herring out the back of the group as well after pushing on. Woodbridge further back, so looks like Forrester in trouble now out of the back of that leading group. And Donny, he's just about holding. They've got to hold the pace of this front group. Thorpe's gone. So Thorpe's legs have gone pop. Donny's just about holding. He's got to push here. Goddard is in this group. Wasdale's pushing the front of this group, though, is really motoring up this hillside. Chris Hilbert is near for Clancy Briggs. Dale William continues to push. Booth is on the front. Now Gilmore coming up. So it's Gilmore who's going to lead them up on to the top here. So Gilmore leading this out. Williams, Tashiel Waller, Kieran Smith, Isaac Oliver, Darrell in there. It looks like Oliver in there. Tom Lindley, young Tom in there. Fat cyclist, that's Gareth Mason in that group as Gilmore's acceleration through over the top. Now this is where they're going to push, and they're going to try and maintain those gaps that they've got on the rest of the riders. Story comes through, sets a 35-second new PB, and for all the riders and all the events out there, you can see, look at that, what a surprise. We've got the polka dot jerseys, we're getting the sprint jerseys. The Chaingang usually hoovers these up, I have to say, just is the pace of our riders. Now Gilmore puts in another little bit of a push to keep himself nicely in that group. It is rotating round on the front though, and looks like Hilbert just tucked in on the front. Tashaw Waller comes over the top. This group working well together. Behind the riders are in 1s and 2s. If we drop towards the back, I think we're going to see Stone adjust distance. He's going to need to push. Varty is squeezing to try and get back into that group, but you can see the issue. If you get dropped, you are in such trouble. You lose those wheels now. Varty's going to put in another kick here. Stone is in there. Smith just holding the back. They can't afford to let the wheel go. If you let that wheel go, you will not get back on. It is almost impossible. You've got to have world-class kick, and you've got to be able to do it for at least, I think, Chris Hoy Kilo to get back onto the group. I mean, a rider of the class of Aaron Stone here is not going to get back in. Miles Curry's gone. Woodall's gone. These riders, though, could form a chasing group and get some serious pace down. Looks like Billy Nomate's in there. Steve Wilson in there as well. Woodall, West in here. Looks like Andy Watson in this group. So if you get distances, you just see an Aaron Stone jumping in. That is the place to be now. Just keeping an eye on these riders as they come through. Looks like Williams at the moment just tucked in on the back of this group. So at the front of the group here, everybody is just keeping an eye on each other. Remember, this is the rundown. We come around these turns. We'll go around the side of the Chateau. Will drop in towards the Ballon Sprint, round the windmill, then down into the gorge. And those repeated lumps and breaks on the way through will make things difficult for the riders. Now quick push on here by Locke, who is just opening up the throttle a little bit here. The pace had dropped back down again. I don't think there's too much danger of being caught. You can see the group behind it, not that far behind. We're going to just try and get an idea of time, a gap. It's 9 seconds, so Run It and Co on the long straights will just about be able to see the leaders. You just make them out going round that right-hand turn. If we try and get up in the air far enough, we may well see the gang coming in the opposite direction to come out of this turn behind this group. Well, the chasers are just on that straightaway. The leaders, though, well, they are just in front. It's now at 9 to 10 seconds. It's only literally a turn or two. And if the front group hesitates, then they are going to be in trouble. Let's see what that gap looks like from behind here. And we've got another group, I think, closing behind group number 2 as well. So that gap currently at about 9 to 10 seconds. 10 seconds it's sitting at the moment. This is group number 2. They're trying to close down on group 1 behind them. Look at this. We've got some big firepower in here. So Finn Donahoe in here, I think Greg Pillsworth in this group as well. Rollett's in here, Richardson's in here. We know Richardson's one of our real fast riders. They're at 4 seconds behind the group in front. That's next to nothing on the road. Are they going to be able to close that down? If groups 2 and 3 came together and there's not a lot between them here, then that is going to make a really big chasing group. We'll take our map out a touch. You can see it's dot to dot. The leaders, though, have a little bit bigger gap. Now at 5 seconds between group 2 and group number 3 on the road. It's a big gap back now to group number 4. That's at 22 seconds. That's the Warsdale, Samul, Stedman and Clark group. And then Kai Hurst currently just ahead of group number 5. That's Steve Ellis about the saddle organising the Brett Dinner, who is behind right up at the front, though. It is definitely a bit of a gap between, because you can just see Booth at the moment on the front of this pack as we come around this turn. So just eases off the pedals as Copeland comes through now. Rob Copeland right up in the mix at the front here. The Sheffield Hallam just taking that right hand side is coming to the left and takes you into the sprint. Nobody's going to burn the matches here as they come around the turns. It leads them into the windmill turns. The windmill section, that long sweeping left-hander before the drop down into the gorge. And at the moment, this group are looking good as they come around. Neil from the crosscast going for a little bit of a kicker, as is Coyle, who's going to get that. Neil gets it from the crosscast to 23.45, and look at the number of personal best. It's absolutely snowing confetti again on these riders, such as the pace. The group behind are squeezing here. They're only 13 seconds behind. By the time we tick through group number 1, group 2 comes through, and look at this again. Personal best times as they come in through this straight here, and you can just see that this group number 2 are working hard. They're trying to keep off group number 3, and I think that gap has opened up. It's 8 seconds now from group 3 to group number 2 as they come out and away from that sprint. So group 3 to group 2 is about 10 seconds, 26 seconds back group 4. And then it's going to be a further 14 seconds to group 5, sandwiched in between Kai Hurst. Our leaders, though, being led out at the moment, the very front of this ride. They've got the gap, they've got the sprint leaders in there, and you've got your climbing leaders in there as well. We've got some very fast finishers. Kieran Smith is in this group. Kieran riding in the flat cap on the green Tron bike, one of our real fast riders. Dale Williams is in here. Now, Dale Williams, the rider with the pink Tron bike, just to the right-hand side of the bunch there. Again, somebody who can't be discounted. Matt Gilmore, the rider who's got the pace and pass to go over the top, trying to stay clear of everybody regularly on a attack. He's not necessarily the fastest sprinter in terms of pure power, but he knows this game inside out. He rides it really well. He's a really talented rider. Don't discount Tom Lindley, young Tom Lindley, a very quick rider. Definitely been getting quicker. Chris Hilbert, of course, we know has a national class, a Thistley character. When it comes to a sprint, we're going to see if he's going to be all prickly and take it out, or whether he's going to just sit back and maybe just chew the grass and just watch everybody else in action. Story, of course, at the moment, the only female rider in this group, but Becky Story has got a massive kick and can take this out as well. Craig Guthrie asking, has Dale been on the front yet? No. That means you're about to see an attack probably from him at some point, coming in or over the top. Towing everyone. Yeah, right. So Daryl Tachiwala just hiding in at the back. This is quite cagey now. So we're about halfway around the windmill turn. If we take a little bit of a look across, we basically circumnavigate. If you look at your map, the centre circle shown on the map is the windmill in the centre. and our riders out around the top. Now you can see this pace is backed pretty much off here. It's down at 3 watts per kilo or so, either side of it by about 0.8, 0.9. So the riders up on to this climb. The red beacon just keeping everybody ticking along behind. And we will run back through well and truly fractured into little groups. This is what the Chaingang is all about. Find a group and jump on in now. Remember, Jimmy Allen, our de facto leader, is in here. Jimmy having to talk, type, and pretty much cover everything in that Mondrian, that LaVie Claire kit. Steve Booth is in here. Is Booth going to take this out this time? Our youngsters are in here. We've got Jones in here. We've got Saxton in here. We've got Isaac Oliver in here. We've got Matt Gilmore in here. Apologies if I'm missing anybody in this big group. Now, Lawrence Cole's in here. Rob Copeland is definitely not one of our youngsters, but again, we know he's quick. Tom Elliott in that S1 kit, the white kit with the big lettering across the top. Another of our fast finishers in there. Who is going to take this out as they come in? Just looking to see now. Morney's in here, and I'll tell you something. He could be a rider who has that kit. We see him sprint every single ride finish. And it could well be, it's going to be his day today. If it comes in, if they drag this big group in, it's going to be a real trouble. So some massive, massive groups in here. This is going to be tricky now. Who's going to go for a long one? We're coming into the gorge. We're coming into the left and right hand turns on the way through. And at the moment, this group are working together well. So Saxton just sat on the back as he laying off. We're ready to put a big kick in and through. Tatsuya Waller now comes up onto the front. We're going to need to stay, I think, up near the very front here. 7.4. That's a kick. Is it enough? He breaks it up a little bit. Oliver chasing. So it is going to be Philip Oliver who is leading the chase. Now Copeland comes over the top as well. We've just seen everybody pushing. Story comes up. Isaac Oliver comes over the side. Gilmore is in contention as well as Isaac Oliver comes onto the front. He's now on 7 watts per kilo. He's pushing hard. Tatsuya Waller just responding to this little bit of a kick. Mayland is in there. He's at 8 watts per kilo in that blue Wahoo kit as well. Now Daryl Tatsuya Waller comes up onto the front. He's got the orange Tron bike. As we see Lindley tucked in here as well. Now Lindley's in the orange and blue kit here. Is he going to be the rider to break this up with an attack? You can see just how much this really does sweep and turn as these riders come around these bends. At the moment we're in with Lindley and Locks in there, Booze in there, Hilbert up onto the front of that group around this next long sweeping left hand bend. The group sitting together. Now we're just seeing another power up come in, and looks to me like that just came in from Tatsuya Waller. So Tatsuya Waller's putting the power up. He's putting that feather power up. Has he got that timing right? It's no use on the downhill. We're just seeing a response here as other people are having to use theirs. It is the longest straight climb on the way up through the gorge. You can see that long section on the map, and Tatsuya Waller times it right. A few people using the feather on downhill. That's not a good move. Copeland moves up onto the front. Now Neil from the crosscast comes over the top, but nobody is giving it enough to go clear at the moment. Still plenty of twists and turns. Remember, once we come down, it is going to get really, really interesting. This is going to get so quick. Now on to the front, you see Morn go through for the stellar top. We've got Tatsuya Waller rolling around the front of this group here. They are absolutely nailing it on this descent. Nobody can hold the front of this group as they come around these turns, around these corners. It is absolutely frantic at the moment. Remember, this ride with no yellow beacon from early on, a massive outage at Russ's Ends means now only a spectator, and he's going to be enjoying watching this as they come down. So we see Philip Oliver now coming on to the front in the green. Push now comes from the back. We've only got a small number of corners left to go. Gilmore is moving up in this group. He's got up into third wheel. Nobody wants to be behind. If a gap goes, Copeland squeezing, but not enough to break the group. We're on that run down. We're going to hit the T-junction very shortly. One right, one left, then that long straight. And it'll take us down, and this is where it's almost impossible to get away. Becky Story now right up near the front of the group in that movie star kit. Neil from the crosscast just squeezes some more power down, but nobody's going to the front. I think everybody at the moment is saving it for a sprint. No one's gone clear yet. Just seeing a quick super tuck from a couple of riders there. A risky option at the moment. You want to keep the pace on now. I think we've just seen a kick from Mason. We have. So the fat cyclist wants his crown back. The man who's won more Chaingang than anybody else up to the appearance of Kieran Brown. He's gone early. He's got to get round that turn. I think he's got this timing right. He's saved a power up as well. He's got the aero. He's put it in. He's round the bend. He's into the last 190 metres. He's into the last 60 metres. That gantry is coming. And it's going to be Mason who caught them all napping. Kieran Smith was snoozing. Gilmore wasn't able to answer it, and Williams, well, he got caught out by the power and the attack there. Gareth Mason reclaims his crown. He's back on the top. What a ride as he comes in and through. Story comes through, our first female rider in that leading group. An amazing sprint there as we saw our riders come through. Becky taking 11.54 on the way through. So Williams regretting not having a power up. Now comes the next group. This is group number 2, and this is how close it was. It was only about 15 seconds. It didn't go very, very long indeed. Varty's gone early, but West is going to come over the top of him. Is West going to get it? He is. West takes it out of that group. Behind him then it's going to be Varty, Potts, License, Mantis in there. Looks like Steve Wilson, a good ride as he comes in and through. Behind then I think Sadler is going to come in on his own, just distance on that run down. He can't relax because coming up behind we've got some big firepower. Rollett is going to lead them in, but right on his heels comes Donahoe. Has Donahoe got the power to roll him? He's gone over the top of him, but right on his heels Chris Gale's coming. Gale's pushing. Donahoe's at 9.9. He just holds him off as they come through. Pillsworth goes through. Goddard's in there. Neil Kerry in that group. Greenaway comes through. A massive group coming through there. Apologies if we didn't catch everybody who came through in that pack. Our next rider is Taylor, but look at this. Taylor's not got a lot. Mason had gone earlier than this. He kicked as he came out round that corner. And behind, I think Birmingham of these riders with Miles Curry are going to be the riders to take this out. Miles Curry's going to go over the top here. Birmingham's holding him though. He's holding him. He's got the power. He keeps him off. So it's Birmingham who comes through. Johnson, Miles Curry, Martin goes through. Malin goes through. Stedman goes through. Chris Ball on his way through there. Lee Allen. Looks like McCart going in. Spencer's in there as well. What a ride by these riders. Behind Steve Ellis, the man who's organising that, on his way through to the line. This is a fast day. Well done to Jimmy keeping that all together. Our next group on the way in, we've got Mr. Woodbridge in here. Ian from 1080 on his way back after having a break. And Darren Topless, I think, in this group. We're just watching Taylor now coming up on to the front, but who's got the pace? Who's got the kick here to take this out? I think we're going to see Dubash come in towards the line. We're just going to take leave the camera down so you can follow through. You can work out for yourselves who was where. Bobby Mason coming in through the line with Ian Taylor. Gail Phillips in that group as well. It looks like Tracy Seeley just coming through just behind that group. Phillips, a great ride there. Then it's going to be Alistair Cootie coming through. He's just ahead of Caldwell. Caldwell's got Day on his heels. That's risky. Day, I think, is going to go over the top here. Day takes that from Caldwell as they come in through the line. Chris Canham and co coming round this corner. So it's going to be Keith Hayward, I think, and Canham, the riders who are now heading in towards the finish. They come through thick and fast on this finish. Really tricky because we do get a little bit of a jump across if we're not careful to the riders coming down the gorge now. Canham has got a big sprint on him. He's coming early here. He's going to look to roll Hayward. Hayward doesn't respond to this. I think he's put everything into that ride. And Canham had an aero power up as well. He goes for the fast finish here. And Canham comes through a 13.96. Good ride by him. Going through Keith Hayward behind. Then it's going to be Young. Our next rider, he's got a gap on the Plevin and Fletcher gang who are down here. So I think Young is going to roll this in, I think, just ahead. He's going to hold off that group behind me, just watching them come off around the turn. Tom Moore fell about to say definitely didn't win, I'm afraid, Mr. Woodbridge. That was all down to a certain Mr. Mason, the fast sprinter, out to play and using that sprint on his way through. So through they go as he comes in. Just see behind it's going to be John Garthett who's going to lead them over the line behind. Then I think we're likely to see Fletcher Borelli come through. Then Plevin, Cheeseman, Andy T comes through. Matt Creast right behind as well. He comes in through the line. Then it is going to be Hargate. Hargate has got Craggill behind. So Hargate and Craggill are next riders through. It's Hargate through the line, then it's Craggill. It's going to be chased by Badger. Badger at 7 seconds, Shaw at 15 at the moment, which means Badger just coming around that right-hand turn, lining up for the straight. Going to come through underneath the gantry. I think the Shaw comes around that turn. The lightweight wheels not an advantage. The dogma frame definitely is, but lightweight wheels don't cut the mustard on this course. It's all about having the speed and the power of that aerodynamic drag. Absolutely critical. Keep it down to a minimum on this course. It is fast, it's flat, it's the route we're on Vitesse here on the Donny Chaingang. Now next up will be Briggs. Briggs on deeper rear there. Interesting mix. Personally never a fan of odd sized rim depths. I know this it makes sense in some ways, but definitely not a fan of the aesthetics, that is for sure. So 2 deeps on here, just coming in on the, I think there's a Reto. Ace going to be Steve Cannon coming through. He's got the gap on Pattison, then behind Pattison, I think we've got 122 to Ruby Isaac and Jim Flynn. And then it's going to be a little bit of a gap back to our Beacon, which is going to be, I think, Wood, Genther and Oral. So the riders making the way in. We're just going to try and drop to the right riders as they come in towards the line. Not as easy as it sounds. So we're going to go in with Pattison. He's going to be our next rider in. We might see if we can try and get hold of Jimmy Hunt. It's likely to be somewhere around about the end of a phone line. You never ever know. So let's see if we can get hold of James, who stood in there. And I've got to say, doing an amazing job of holding the gang together despite not having a beacon there. So we're just watching Gary come in here. So Gary Pattison, another of our regular riders, makes his way into the line. Big kick from him. And on the other end of the phone line, we have the one and only the Wolf is here. Nice ES, telepathy and moving things just by the power of thought and instilling people some real good vibes there, because that was a great chain gang. And I've got to say, when we lose the yellow, if there's tech issues, we are always a little bit apprehensive. I don't think we needed to be, did we?
No, it's like I said, it's we've had a good run, really, haven't we? And I suppose it just, I keep saying, kind of sort of like a broken record. It's a really well drilled gang now, and it's, it's so easy. I was sitting there thinking, you don't really have to do anything. Send a few messages out, and everybody just knows the score, and everybody knows to look at the feed as well, and you're controlling and letting us know. When Ruby dropped off the back, for example, and I couldn't see on my list, you see, you probably know, but I could only see the red beacon, so the list didn't show. So it's crucial to have your feed and let us know what's going on. Otherwise, we'd have lost a few, I think, there. But yeah, what a great teamwork.
Definitely, and that is one of the reasons it works, is that the advantage of being not pedalling and being able to move screens and have multiple follows on the ride. I mean, we've got lots of different things, watching where the group is and focusing on the end, and particularly when there isn't a yellow beacon, then helping out the whoever takes on that role, which invariably seems to be you, Jimmy, is part of the game, that's for sure. But the riders, definitely without them, it is very hard. And just watching Ruby in here, Ruby's got a bit of a quick kick. She's with Jim Flynn, and we know Jim has got a monstrous sprint on him. And I think Ruby would do really well to stay with him at this stage as Jim pushes in. The two riders working together, and it shows you great riding by Ruby, great riding by Jim. And remember, of course, Ruby wouldn't have been able to see the go because our younger riders can't see the message boards on a kids account, it does make big difference. So great riding as they go in through. 2 more personal bests on the way through, and I think that just leaves the bus and the 3 riders that make up the red bus. I know a few people in there, then just dropping out after about an hour. So Craig getting third in there. Craig's capable of riding at the front of this ride and gives up his ride. You say he gives it up, he takes on what is one of the real fun jobs, which is the red beacon. Because it's hard, but it's great fun, isn't it, bringing everybody back through?
Yeah, just watching him come in now, and I think Rich Orrell's there as well, so he's had a little gang with him. And yeah, it's one of the nice things about the gang, isn't it, that everybody pitches in, and it's that's why we said it's such a different ride to everything else that's available on Zwift, and that's why people keep coming back to it. Because if you want to go and do an hour's thrash, there's plenty of those events around, but this has got that team ethic, and it's got the red beacon. Keep saying it's inclusive. We start off at 2.5 watts per kilo, and appreciate that might be quite close to threshold for some people, but we can get most of the way around. And then at the end, there's that 20-minute quality effort. It ticks all the boxes, doesn't it? And you got Becky Story coming on. That tells you everything you need to know. You've got a top rider who you're probably using it, I guess, for part of her training. Sort of that quality effort at the end. So yeah, brilliant. Everybody's happy.
Yep, hopefully. Well, apart from Russ, who's probably at the moment just picking up little pieces where he smashed everything up. But we've had
might need to hibernate.
Yeah, maybe the bear. He's not allowed to hibernate until the end of the end of April in theory, but I'm sure he'll be taking a little bit of time before his bear cub arrives. So I'm going to say a massive thank you, Jimmy. It's a great gang today, and well done to our Red Beacon, to Craig and to Rich and everybody who's out on the sweeping at the back. We're back next week. Jimmy, get some recovery done. Hopefully your service is what we need and you'll be able to play at the front again next week.
Okay, mate. Well, pleasure as always, and as I say, thanks everybody. Thanks to yourself, Matt, as well.
So great to catch up with Jimmy as our riders head to their warm down. A final reminder from me: no broadcast next week. Not here in the studios. We no access to the studios, and we've got no access to the entry system as well at all from tonight, lasting tonight, right the way through until a week on Tuesday. That means that Russ will be riding with the gang on Tuesday and Thursday next week on the DCG. If you're a member of the DCG gang, please guys get your entries in, get your joining in if you haven't already done so. By the end of Monday, at midnight on Monday, there'll be an email go out with the links for the members, with all the discount codes for the new February discount codes. Remember, we've got giveaways with OT and with Grand Tour Coffee on the Chaingang during the February period for members of the DCG gang. If you're registering for a single ride, please make sure you get your entries in on time. We will be unable to add anybody late. Don't message Russ. Don't message Jimmy. Don't give me a shout. We're not going to be able to do it. We're not going to be able to go in and access and get you on the rest. So please, guys, quick reminder, make sure you get those in on time. Can't stress enough. It's important next week that you do that. If you don't do it, we're not going to be able to override any of the systems next week. They're all set up to go. Everything's scheduled in, ready to roll. So, from me, Matt Payne, going to catch up with everybody again a week on Tuesday after we've done a little bit of TLC. And from everyone on the Chaingang, from Russ, from myself, Matt Payne, from Jimmy, and from our Red Beacon that's out there, our volunteer beacons, from Emma, who's been running our WOW DCG again this week. Stay safe, enjoy your riding, and we'll see you soon on the Donny Chaingang.